My father was Dallas Madron, and he came here in the late 1950s along with Hank Kubik. They were the two key figures in starting the Orlando Science Center.
My dad was one of the founders, and he used to always tell a story about how excited they were towards the beginning when Martin Marietta gave him like $1,000. You know, that was a huge, huge contribution.
When I was being delivered at Florida Hospital across the street, my dad was giving a star show in what was the John Young Planetarium.
I had been involved with the Science Center as a volunteer as a young woman. Took suitcase lectures around to the elementary schools and talked about shells and volcanoes.
Dr. Phillips has been involved with the Science Center since the 1960s. We've watched it grow physically. We've seen the addition of the observatory in the 70s, this beautiful facility we're in right now in the 90s.
When I was in public office, we had the great opportunity to assist in creating this new and wonderful and extensive opportunity.
I think what really drove us was our passion for what the Orlando Science Center represented.
I think my mom wanted her grandchildren to have a world-class museum in their backyard.
I've always been involved in the Science Center and the other facility as well. And so when I had the opportunity, when I was asked to chair the opening activities for the new facility, I was thrilled.
The grand opening for the Orlando Science Center was something that maybe we haven't seen here for a long time.
My favorite memory is pretty easy. When the Science Center was first constructed, they had a little fundraiser where children, or adults for that matter, could put their handprints and have them preserved permanently on the wall. So both of my sons have their handprints up there.
Every time I come here with my son, who's now in his 40s, we go up there and we put our hands on there. You know, our hands have not really changed since then, but it really does give us a feeling of being a part of the place.
The favorite memory for me was the excitement in my young Andrew's face when he would walk into that silly citrus exhibit and play with the oranges and see the evolution of it and how they moved through that little conveyor belt. And he loved that. He absolutely loved that.
To be amazement of me, the young girls will touch the snakes before the boys will. And then the boys say, well, the girls can do it, I can do it.
I have 4 young children when we moved here, and this was the high point of we go about once a month. And it was like a monthly field trip for us because the kids would just light up, engage, giggle, laugh, explore.
My daughter, when she was younger, was a young Einstein, and then she was a teacher's assistant, and she loved it here. She volunteered and loved it here. And now my 3-year-old granddaughter loves to come here.
There was a little guy, he must have been 5 years old, and he was running into the exhibit, but like all 5-year-olds, he had his head down on the ground. And when he looked up and saw that Tyrannosaurus Rex, he completely did an about face and ran back out.
I have 2 grandsons now, and if I allowed them, they would live here. They want to come here more than anywhere else.
Having my own grandchildren and having brought them down here and see their eyes light up when they see something that piques their interest, you know, is what makes me know that the facility is so worthwhile.
The Science Center, by influencing young people's career choices, makes them successful, makes the businesses they work for successful, and therefore our entire community prospers because of that.
I think the Science Center has been able to survive 60 years, and I believe it will continue to survive another, because this is a community that cares.
And I come here because I love it, and the volunteers come because they love it, and they want to see it prosper, do well.
As I have shared with some of my colleagues, I can't walk across that bridge without smiling. It's just terrific.
This is unique and irreplaceable in the community. This is where you go where you can't get this anywhere else.
Organizations, in order to remain viable and to grow and to continue to function, need to also grow and mature and look forward.
It's not so much staying with one organization for a long time, it's staying under the umbrella of an organization for a long time that keeps changing with time, so keeps people engaged.
You know, for an organization to stay sustainable for 60 years, they have to have a good vision, and they must have great leadership throughout the years. but they probably also need great partners. And I have to say, Florida Hospital's very proud to be one of their partners.
It's amazing what it's come from, except when I was a child, to where it is now, and I can't even imagine what they can do.
I think it's limitless what the Science Center can do for the community.
Now to see people from all walks of life, from all parts of the community, from all over the globe, come and enjoy what we dreamed about.
The impact that it has, especially on children, is so important. It encourages them to think, to dream, to imagine, to experiment. Really starts to open those ideas in their minds about what they could do.
That's the beauty of the Science Center, because what it does is it appeals to all ages. It doesn't matter if you're 6 or 60 years old. You can come in here and you can find something you want.
Where they can explore science, where they can explore their place in the universe, where they can imagine technologies they hadn't imagined before.
Part of the arts and sciences scene of our community. It's a unifying place for our community. The desire to learn and desire for knowledge that the Science Center brings out in a very special way that no place else does. It's a unique organization.
I can't wait to see what the Science Center offers 60 years from now. I don't think we really know what they're going to offer, but my guess is it's going to be pretty exciting.